I want to thank everybody for joining us for real life, real stories, real opportunity. And we're excited for you to come and discover what Epicure is all about. I am Denise Thibodeau. I'm the Global Director for the Abundant Living team. And I am in honor, it's just an honor to be working with Krista Greenland. Krista started her company or with her business 6 years ago with Epicure. She's a busy mom and she's also an incredible entrepreneur. She's launched and she has another business that she's running on working with social. And she homeschools her kids, and she is just taking her business to a whole new level. And she's really engaged in building her social media business as well as Epicure. She has an incredible story about how she came into Epicure, how Epicure is filling her life. And it's always an honor and a privilege to work with Krista. I have had the privilege of working with her for 6 years. We became friends and it's been awesome. So give her a big round as she comes in and shares her story with how Epicure is fitting into her life, as it's pretty busy.
Oh yes, I'm definitely busy. So I just want to thank you guys, and we're going to jump right into this. So it's crazy early in the morning. I roll out of bed. It's another weekend, another 8-hour shift at Starbucks. And I can't even imagine how I'm going to continue doing this every weekend. I tiptoe across the bathroom to the bathroom without waking anybody. And I'm getting ready for work as quiet as I possibly can. And I look into the mirror and I think to myself, there's got to be more than this. There's got to be a better way. Something where I can spend more time with my family, more time with my kids, and still bridge that gap for the income that we need. Like many of you, I'm not looking for another full-time job or career. I want to be able to bring in some additional income without giving away all of my time. And I believe with the right tools and the right opportunity, we can all create the life that we want. I'm Krista Greenland. I'm a leader with Epicure. And there are many reasons why somebody gets a second job or starts a new business or wants to make more income. And I'm going to share with you today those 3 reasons why I started my Epicure business. So the first one is flexibility. You know, flexibility has always been really, really important in my life and with my family. Being stay-at-home mom with my kids and being able to raise them. So I know many people want to have that ability to be able to walk their kids to and from school. Or if you have somebody in your family who's unwell, to be able to stay home with them. Or how about never have to ask to take vacation or have permission to take a day off? Those were really, really important for me for flexibility. I want to be able to create the schedule that I want. It makes me think of when I was in high school. And so I kind of think I made this decision a long time ago that this is what I wanted in my life. But I can remember sitting in high school and thinking to myself, I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to be a CEO of my own company. I want to be my own boss. You know, to choose that schedule that when I'm working and when I'm not working, I'm really making that decision myself and not have somebody else to make that decision. And so flexibility for me has always been really, really important. And even more so as I had kids and just kind of different things in our life. The second one for me that was so important was money. I needed to know that I can replace the income I was already making without sacrificing more time. So how can I find something that is less time and more money? And when I discovered that I could earn 25% off of every order, and that if I did $400 in sales, I could earn $125, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Because when I think about how many hours I had to work to make $125 at Starbucks, do you know what that is? That's 8 hours of work. And dealing with people you may not always want to deal with. And so it got my head spinning on, hey, how many cooking classes could I do? You know, how many could I do in person? Or if I did virtual, How many more could I do? Because in person has that travel time. But if I did more cooking classes virtually, how many can I like pile in on one class? And it made me realize, how much money do I really want to make? That's something that I get to determine. So if I wanted to make more money, I just work a bit more. And if I want to make less money, then I just work a little less. But what is amazing about it is that I get to determine where I land, not somebody else. I'm no longer bound to working a certain amount of hours to making a certain amount of income. So the first reason why I joined was flexibility. The second reason was that I get to determine my own income. The third reason was something that I was not expecting and didn't even realize that I needed in my life. And that was community. And I'm just going to share the definition of community because I think sometimes we use words and we don't fully understand what they mean. And there are two definitions out there. So the one that really resonated with me was a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common interests, attitudes, and goals. And it got me thinking, have I ever been part of a community in my life that we shared similar attitudes, interests, and goals? And I realized that I hadn't been. I had gone most of my life without having that connection with people who were going on the same path as me, people that I could connect around and be inspired by and inspire others and encourage and like link arms and join together. Have you ever been part of that type of community where you shared those common interests and goals? I found this community in Epicure, and I know that you can too. It makes me think about the saying that we hear a lot. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And before I jumped into the Epicure world, I don't know that I would have agreed with that. Because a lot of the times running a business can feel very lonely. But that's not true with Epicure. With Epicure, you are in business with others, like-minded people. We have similar goals, similar interests, and similar attitudes. And what is incredible about creating community and joining in for community is that you get to meet some of the most amazing, caring, inspiring people because of Epicure. You get to connect with people that you would have never met if it wasn't for this community. And I'm not just talking about consultants, I'm talking about customers. Over the 6 years that I've been doing this, I have built a relationship with both customers and consultants that I would have never met if it wasn't for this business. And one example is my lovely accountability partner, Linda Brown. And I would never have met her without Epicure. And our daily morning breakfast check-ins have been very key for my, my health journey. I am somebody who has struggled with an eating disorder since I was 12, and I don't have a love for food. But I know that every morning, Linda's waiting for that food photo from me. And that's what gets me starting my day after my morning coffee. Because, you know, there's some things that you don't change. In my life, it's coffee. But what it made me realize is you never know who you're going to meet when you jump into something new. That person could be exactly the person you need to meet for things to change in your life. Or there could be somebody in this community that's waiting for you. We all have the ability to make an impact on other people's lives, to create change. And I truly believe that there's someone waiting for you. So I'm going to just recap the three things, the three reasons why I jumped in. The first one is flexibility, you know, creating that schedule that worked for my life, that works in my life, and being able to have the flexibility to change it as things change. The second is money, you know, deciding the income that I want in my life and what works for us. And the third is community, you know, meeting new friends, building new relationships were so important. Now, these may not be your reasons, and that's okay. So whatever your reason is, whatever it is that brought you here this evening, I want you to consider this. Do you want to make a difference in those around you, in your community, in your life? Do you want to help more people? If this is something that you want, I want you to connect with the person that invited you today, or reach out to one of us and have a conversation on how Epicure can fit into your life. Because you deserve to have the freedom to create the life that you desire. You deserve to dream big, and you deserve to achieve those dreams. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. And if you have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask us any questions that you might have.
So yeah, we can just, so thank you, Krista, for sharing. And you know what I love about your story? There's a lot to it, right? Number one, community. I think that was a big, you didn't have, like you said to me once, you know, I didn't really have a community. I hung out with guys all the time. I didn't really hang out with women. And now you've got a group of like-minded people that come out and surround you and support you. And, you know, that the whole schedule with Starbucks, right? Working that schedule, working on that man's or that employer's timeline was something that was actually hindering your life in a lot of ways. So finding Epicure and that flexibility, that's a big deal for you. I know that. And again, Epicure and the health and wellness of it, right? And you were looking for a business that you could be really proud of. And you found it with Epicure, and then started a second business in the social because you found some strengths in that you didn't even really know until you started with Epicure and started working on the social side of things and said, this is a second business I could drive. So those are some really great things.